Scaling customer support usually requires hiring larger teams or forcing clients through rigid, unhelpful chatbots. Today, using Agentforce, you can deploy a highly capable AI directly onto an experience site or website to handle dynamic queries, process secure updates, and execute seamless handoffs to humans. I've already built this exact system, and in this video, I'm going to show you how it operates. So let's dive in. So here we are in the Architas experience site, and down here in the bottom right hand corner you can see this is the portal through to the Agentforce service agent itself. So we'll click on that, and the first thing we're going to explore is I've got a grounded document in Data Cloud that goes through what is the discovery process, how do you implement artificial intelligence in your business, and some of the key terminology that you come across in AI. So the first thing I'm going to ask, can you tell me about the discovery process? So I'm a client asking Architas, we know that we've got an upcoming process to go through. Can you tell me a bit about it so I can brief the team? So what Agentforce is now doing is looking at that grounded document that it has in the back end, and it's going to tell them the process that they will go through with us as part of their AI rollout. And you can see here, this is the source, this is the document that we've got. The other thing that I'm going to ask it is, what is a large language model? So again, we can ask it terminology, and I've built this into the document itself. So it can then advise the client what a large language model is, and they can get live data, live advice on things that I'm telling the agent that it can actually support the client with. If I try and ask it something random, like, can you tell me the ingredients of a sponge cake? Because in this document, it doesn't have that information, it will come back and tell you, I'm sorry, I can't do this. So with a service agent that is client facing, of course, building in guardrails is so important. And this is just an example of it. We've got the grounded document, we've told it what it can support clients with, and we've also told it we can't support clients with a sponge cake, even though it sounds delicious. And I'm sure that the client would benefit from having a sponge cake for lunch with the team. Next, we're going to move on to how can we get information on the records that we have in Salesforce. So what we're going to do next is we're going to get some information on the cases that we have open. And what you can do at this point is you can set up the authentication to be when the client logs into this portal, that authenticates the user. Or you can also set it up so that if they ask certain questions, it will then authenticate that person to make sure that it only gives data to an authenticated user and doesn't give out information that is confidential to another person. So you can see here, I've asked about the cases. So I'm going to go in, look at this case. I'm just going to get the email address, and it's going to authenticate me as a user. So it knows that I'm talking to the right person and I'm not giving out random information that is confidential to another person. So it's now going to send me through a one-time code. So I'm just going to get that from the email. So this is the email that I've got through here from the Architas customer support agent. And now we're going to copy and paste that one-time password into the service agent, and it's going to go through that authentication process to make sure that it's speaking with the right person. Then we can ask it about the cases itself. So the verification has been successful. I want to know what cases are still open. Then it's going to look at what cases are against my name. So we can see here there's a case open for Architas to support us as the client to educate them about AI. And then it goes through the description and the status. So we know that the Architas team is working on it. I just want to add a note to that case so that when James at Architas, okay, that's me, reads the case, they know that I've made an inquiry and that I've got a comment for them to review. So we're going to add a case comment to this case so that when James reviews the case, they can see that I've interacted with the agent and I've popped on this comment for them to review. So I'll go ahead and say, yes, please. And then we can see here that that's been updated. We can also do things like updating basic information. So if our phone number's changed, we can also change our phone number via the agent because we're verified, and then it will go ahead and update that data for us. So the agent itself is able to support us with queries where we've grounded it in a document. We've made sure it's got guardrails so it won't support the client on things like baking a cake or anything that it shouldn't. Then we've enabled the agent to also support us with basic insights into things like cases, update information, and leave case comments for the Architas team to review. And this is all on the experience portal itself. So there we go. We've got the phone number and that's been successfully updated. So I'll go back in here to the case and we can see here the phone number's been updated successfully, which is great. And we can also see down here that we've got some case comments. So today at 7:52 a.m., James will call after they've reviewed the proposal. So we've left that case comment for James, and the agent itself has updated it with that. But just say, for instance, we're not really happy with the service that the service agent is providing us. We've also linked it through to Omni-Channel. So I'm just going to go to online there. And what we're going to do next is we're going to say, look, please put me through to a human, because we want to go in depth on something and we're not confident that we've got the outcomes that we want. So what we've got now is we've popped it through to a human, and because we've got omni-channel routing, we can now come in here and take a look and now support the client as a human agent to make sure that their questions are resolved properly. So I'll just pop this in now as, hi, I'm James, how can I help you? And we'll see that that information will be routed through the service agent, but they're actually talking to a human. And then we're going to say, great, we've got all the support that we need. We can close this. And then we can go, great, they've got what they need. We can end this chat. And we've got all of the information embedded here. So when we go back to James, the contact, we can see that there was a web conversation here this morning. And also when we go into the case, that whole conversation that we've had via the agent and with the human through Omni-Channel as well, that messaging session is also against the case here. And we can review that conversation if we need to in the future. So this is a really good way of how you can embed a service agent online to help support them with information about your service, and then also support with actual record details once they're authenticated, like updating details, getting information about the case or other records, and then updating those as well. And then if the person isn't satisfied with the support they're getting, you can then route them through Omni-Channel to then speak with a human to make sure that they're getting the service that they want when they need it. Deploying an Agentforce service agent on an experience site or website creates a secure, highly capable support system. It can handle dynamic inquiries, process secure data updates once the person is authenticated, and de-escalate that client to a human team via Omni-Channel if necessary. It provides your clients with the immediate and accurate assistance they need, whilst keeping your internal team focused on the complex tasks that require that human touch. If this has helped you, subscribe for more weekly deep dives, and also subscribe to our newsletter in the description below to learn more about how you can use AI in your everyday lives. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.